Hi, I'm Michelle, and I'm inviting you to wake up and live. And today, I want to talk about habits. Does it take 21 days to make a habit? Does it take 30? Does it take 60? Does it take 90? And how do you know when it's actually a habit? I'm reading this book called The Miracle Morning, The Not So Obvious Secret Guaranteed to Transfer Your Life Before 8 a.m. by Hal Elrod. And he has a book where he actually just talks about habits, and he said shared some information that I found pretty awesome and pretty valuable, and I wanted to share that with you, and then give you some of my insight and my understanding about how habits work and my experience with them. So he says, depending on the article you read or which expert you listen to, you'll hear compelling evidence that it takes anywhere from a single hypnosis session, 21 days, or even up to 3 months to incorporate a new habit into your life or get rid of an old one. Now, I'm not tried to hypnosis, but I do know that the right energy work could actually switch things around to where habits are just naturally there. It's not something that I've consciously worked with, but I've noticed that as I've done some energy work, changed some beliefs, all of a sudden I was doing things that I wasn't doing before, and it was like, sweet, really cool. It's like my drinking water habit. It has been really easy for me. So he goes on to say, the popular 21-day myth may come from the 1960 book Psycho-Cybernetics, A New Way to Get More Living Out of Life, written by cosmetic surgeon Dr. Maxwell Maltz. He found that amputees took, on average, 21 days to adjust to the loss of a limb. He argued that people take 21 days to adjust to any major life change. So some would argue that how long it takes for a habit to become truly automatic also depends on the difficulty of the habit. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about that. I wanted to talk to you about the idea of 21 days. Now, it makes sense to me that it would take about 3 weeks before somebody adjusted to a major life change, such as an amputee. The difference with an amputee and us creating a habit is they're not going to have a different experience. After 21 days, it's basically they just have to accept it and choose to live their life in joy or choose to complain for the rest of their lives, but they really have no choice. It's done. It's happening. And that makes sense to me that it would take a few weeks, and it also makes sense to me that it could be a specific amount of time. Now, here's what he's shared in the book. He talked about that he thinks it takes 30 days, and he breaks it into 10 chunks. And the first 10, he says, it's like really hard, and you're trying to do it, but you're still kind of motivated, so you do it. The second 10 days, it's still really hard. There's a little bit of wanting to give up. You've lost some of your motivation, but you're still doing it. And then on the last 10, you're kind of solidifying it, and it becomes a habit. Okay, my experience. This is my experience. Okay, so the first 10 days are kind of easy for me. I'm excited, I'm motivated, I'm like, yes, I'm going to do this, it's going to be great, it's going to be awesome, and I do really well for the first 10 days. And I would say at least a week to 10 days. I'm not really sure, I've never actually tracked it. Then I get into the second week, and it's like, oh my gosh, I have lost the excitement from the newness of it. This is the week where I get to really look at what is my real why. If I haven't already established my why, this is the time to establish my why and really get in tune with that, because if I don't have a solid why, it's not going to stick. I'm not going to desire to do it. It's going to be a big pain. So the second phase is that for me. And then the third phase I can see would be a solidifying an idea. But it's not a habit. How come it's not a habit? You still have to think about it. You still have to say, I'm getting up and doing this, like if it's a morning routine or whatever. You still have to be committed to it. You still have to focus on it. It's just you've gotten past this really hard phase, and now you're in this phase where it's like, okay, I've gotten past this phase that says, this is what we're going to do. Now I'm going into this phase that says, I'm sticking to it. And so you take on another 30 days, and you may get another bump or something. You may get another phase where it's a little bit more of a challenge. I'm not sure what your personal phases would be. But that second set of 30 days is a place where you start, like the first days you adjusted to it and you recognize this is what it is. The second phase is where you are saying, yes, I am committed to this. I am doing it. This is what's happening. So you have the first phase and the second phase. Now, I don't know about you, but I kind of have to keep going even further. It's so easy for me to do things for 2 months and then I have things come up. I did a exercise routine for like 60 days and then I got sick. And then I never went back to it until I restarted doing them with this morning miracle routine. I know that every time I've looked at adjusting my diet, I do really good for about 2 months, and then I'm just like, I'm done. Cannot do it anymore. And so I have this wall for myself that happens at 2 days. And I feel like if you can get past whatever your wall is and keep moving, that's when it starts to become a habit. Now, how do you know when it's a habit? I know that making my bed is a habit because I find myself making my bed without even thinking about it. I just do it. And on days like today, I actually didn't make my bed. Today was a crazy morning. But having one day go crazy doesn't break my habit. Tomorrow, it will still be easy for me to make my bed. When you've gotten to a point where it's automatic, when you automatically are doing those things without having to put your conscious effort into it, that's when it's a habit. And that's also when you can maybe skip a day, depending on what it is. You can skip a day, and it doesn't set you back. Whereas if you're in that first 30 days, or even the second 30 days, and possibly the third 30 days, when you're in those first 90 days, that's when it's crucial to not skip a day. And if you skip a day, recognize that you may take another 90 days before it's a habit. But keep doing it. Keep going on it. Just recognize this. And you can do energy work. You can do work on your beliefs. You can, if you believe that habits are hard to make, it's going to take longer. If you believe that what you're wanting to do is a horrible, awful thing, it's going to take longer. So if you look at those kind of things, you can actually make your habits flip faster. Now, that's what I have to share with you. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you like it. Share it. Comment below. Tell me what you think. I was thinking about how Zach is doing the 90-day year, like he does 90 days and 90 days and 90 days, and he has these sets of 90 days for his goals versus doing a whole year. I guess he got it from some book. I'll ask him about it. So he's doing that, and that's pretty cool, and no buts. There was no but in there. So he's doing these 90-day things, and as I was saying, like 30 days, 30 days, 30 days, I was like, that's 90 days. So if you want to set a habit, then do it for one of those 90-day things, like the 12-week year, which really 90 days is more like 13 weeks, but maybe there's a week for planning or something. Anyway, if you want to do, set a habit, plan for doing it in 90 days and see how you're doing at the end of the 90 days. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to let your soul shine big, bright, live, and beautiful, and I will see you tomorrow. Oh yeah, subscribe.